back again with a preview today. Today I'm talking about the SpitFire top coil Clearomizer. Now this is running at 2 ohms and I've got it on a Pro-Vary running at 3.7 volts. Straight off the bat, I've got to say this is a very impressive Clearomizer to vape on. Now, let me just explain what it is. Now, this is called the SpitFire 4-wick Clearomizer, okay? Now, it's currently in its beta testing, okay? So it's not necessary. It's not in the mainstream you know, you can't really purchase it everywhere at the moment. So what happened was that they sort of made it and they distributed it into a certain amount of websites, and if you jump straight in it, as a consumer, you are able to sort of pick one of these up before the sort of the final product. Hence why I said it's kind of a preview more than a review, because it technically isn't the final product. So what it is it's pretty interesting actually. There is 2 chambers. Okay, now this whole unit will pull apart completely from the top, from there, and from there. It is the most rebuildable thing I have ever seen. Personally, you know, I'm not into the rebuildable sort of scene. I like, you know, something pretty simple to use, and I don't really sort of replace the entire thing all the time. But let me just run over it. Now, the drip tip. This is the drip tip that comes with it. You can pull it out and put your own one in. Okay, and you can see the coil is exposed as soon as you take the drip tip off. You can actually take it off from the top, and you know, you can fill it up to halfway on the top chamber. But what they actually recommend is you fill the entire bottom chamber full of liquid. And now you can see there is 4 wicks that are running from the coil, and they're quite large. They're thick wicks actually, probably the thickest I've seen. And so you'll actually fill it from the bottom first, probably about 3/4. I'd recommend about 3/4, because if you fill it right to the top, you've got to allow for these wicks to sort of come in, and then it sort of raises the level of the liquid a bit. Okay, and then what you would do is fill it about halfway at the top there. Okay. Now I'll put that back on, and so what it is, it's double chambered. So I'll just give you a quick demo. I haven't actually seen a Clearomizer like this before. I'll give you a close-up view. When you're sort of vaping on it, you'll notice this chamber here will become, the vapor will pass through here, okay, and will get very cloudy, and it will clear up once you sort of drag the rest of the vapor in your mouth. So I'll give you a really quick sort of demo of that, so you can understand what I'm saying. So once again, just check out this top bit here. Now hopefully you saw that. So basically it's pretty impressive to look at, because you're sort of getting this sort of vapor in here, and then it clears up. So it looks pretty cool actually. Okay, so what I'll do, now at 3.7 volts, it's vaping like a boss. This thing is vaping really well. Now you heard me mention that I'm not really into you know, I'm happy with replacing coils and things like that, but rebuilding entire sort of devices I'm not into. But the way it vapes itself is one of the best Clearomizers I've ever had. This thing is, it vapes like a boss. There is, at 3.7 volts, there is really good heat. It is, you know, I said this about the Stardust and the Mini Nova, but this one tastes just fantastic. The taste is so smooth and very flavoursome, and it vapes really well. There's a generous amount of airflow when you're vaping on it. It doesn't feel blocked. There's not too much airway, and it's very quiet when you're vaping on it. Now, I don't think you'd be able to hear that. Usually when you have a Clearomizer or a Cartomizer and there's a large amount of airflow, it usually has a bit of a noise, whether it sounds like a whistle, whether it sounds like a sort of a jet engine, you know. But this one has a generous amount of airflow, but it's very quiet, so I haven't really experienced that either. So that's pretty impressive too. Okay, so what I'll do, I'll just, if you've got a VV device, we'll just up the volts a bit. We'll put it to 4.2. And once again, this is running at 2 ohms. I gotta tell you, that is massive vapor. That is massive vapor. In fact, I would say that this is the most vapor production device I have ever owned, whether it's Clearomizers or Cartomizers. This has the most impressive vapor cloud on any device I've ever owned. So, you know, like I said, it's currently in its beta testing. Okay, so you mightn't be able to just sort of go ahead and find it anywhere. I was just fortunate enough to purchase it because you know, the particular website I went on, you know, it mentioned it's in its testing sort of stages, and you know, I went ahead and bought a handful of them. Now they currently don't have any. You may still be able to pick them up somewhere, but going off this, you know, this is more or less a preview, not a review, and if the finished product is anything like this, I would definitely buy it. I'm just waiting for it to come out so I can buy sort of the finished product. Now, in its current stage, it has one or two little flaws, well, couple of flaws. So there is minor leakage from the bottom here. There is. I find myself every 10 minutes or so I have to get a you know, a paper towel and give it a wipe. It's not a major leak, but it is leaking nonetheless. Now I should mention, actually, you'll fit about 3 mil altogether, so it's a large tank. Okay, you'll fit about 2.5 on the bottom and about 0.5 on the top, because once again, you won't fill, they recommend not to fill the top chamber all the way to the top, so it's about 0.5 mil you put there, so it's quite a large tank. The reason why I'm mentioning that is my general vape is an F16 Vogue. Now this is a 4 mil tank, and this is about a 3 mil tank, okay? So you're fitting about 1 more mil in this, and the size on the Vogue is smaller, okay? You can see it's quite a different smaller. So this is a larger tank and it's smaller. Now the reason why this would be you know, larger is because it does have 2 chambers. So more or less this middle piece here is what's causing that extra length. So a couple of minor little flaws at the moment. Once again, this isn't the finished product, so there is minor leaking from the bottom, and you know, I think they could sort of squash that middle chamber down a bit to make it into a smaller sort of tank. But if that doesn't worry you, you know, then that's fine anyway. So, you know, I'm kind of excited for when this comes out, because the way it vapes right now, I mean, the way it vapes is absolutely out of this world, actually. You know, I recently did the review on the Mini Nova, and this one is a great contender to knock it off its stool. So, you know, keep an eye out for this, guys. At the moment, the way it vapes is pretty impressive, and it'll be interesting to see on its finished sort of product. All right, guys, we'll give it one more vape and we'll get out of here. Tastes really good. All right, guys, see you later.